Welcome to Being Friends with Jess and Tony Ann, an inside look at our friendship, millennial things, sports, and pop culture. Come laugh with us, or maybe at us, and let's be friends.
All right, hello.
Hey.
This is a
Welcome
retro.
down.
This is a retro Being Friends episode where Jess is gonna probably be freezing multiple times.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what's going on. Like, literally, I couldn't tell you. The computer worked all day, and now it's not.
Yeah, it happens. It be like that sometimes.
Is that your new slogan? Because you said
It
that
do.
last
I don't think
episode.
it's that new, but I do say that a lot. Like it do be like that sometimes. I don't know. I just like the way it's said. It comes out funny. It breaks up it's a good one of those phrases that if there's like a tense situation, it's just like a good blanket answer.
Okay.
Like you could just tell me like something awful happened to you and I'd be like, it'd be like that sometimes. It just like completely helps the situation.
Are you wearing the shirt for my bachelorette party?
Yes. The shake your maracas. It's a little wrinkly. But yes.
I'm in some comfy jammies because I took a shower before this, which
Great job.
is probably going to be my ridiculous thing rant of the day.
Oh, all right. Well,
what's in your cup, Sean?
Yeah, well, so my cup, I have my Mets thing again because we are almost to baseball season. Pitchers and catchers report in, less than 20 days. I think it's maybe like 2 weeks.
Probably. Isn't it usually like the Monday after the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so it's almost baseball season. I'm ready to be heard again. So this is my wine in my Mets cup. And I see you have the sweatshirt on, so we're very on brand this week. What about you?
I didn't want to open a bottle of wine. So I was actually on the phone with Ariana before this. And I'm like, what should I drink? And stood in front of my bar cart for a solid 5 minutes. And then I said, I'm going to make a boozy hot chocolate. So we got hot chocolate with some amaretto, rum chata, and Kahlua in it.
You love your rum chata. You really do.
Splashed everything on in there and stirred it on up. What'd you say? I love what?
I said you really love your rum chata. Like, I think you're the only person I know that drinks rum chata, like, consistently.
I mean, it's in my house and I have to use it. So, like, I'm going to use it, you know?
Yeah.
And I have it in my house because I made sugar cookie martinis and it calls for that in the sugar cookie martinis. So that's where the rum chata came from. But again, it's in my house. I'm using the resources until it's gone. When it's gone, who knows if and when I'll ever buy it again.
Is that the bottle I gave you? Because I feel like I had one in my apartment and I was like, I'm never going to use this. Do you want it? And you took it? Or
no, I don't think you gave it to me.
Or maybe I discovered how old it was that you were like, Tony, Ann, throw this out, because you are the master at telling me that I keep things way past when they should be kept. Mm-hmm. So perhaps that was it.
Perhaps. I don't remember this though.
Just know that if you come to my house, I would never serve you alcohol that is weird, or any food that is weird. But sometimes
you definitely wouldn't. Just for yourself. It's like yourself, like you think that you are invincible as like human. Like
a yogurt. Plenty of time. That's 2 weeks over. Like most people would go, oh, it's dairy. I don't know. I'm just like, it's fine. And I just eat it.
Yeah.
It's Greek yogurt, so it has like extra bacteria cultures in it, if anything, and then it's like better.
Ew.
That's what Greek yogurt is.
We need to change topics. We cannot talk about that. We can't.
Okay, so what's your ridiculous thing? Start it off.
Okay, it's not even like, it's ridiculous because the girlies are going to understand, which is probably most of our listeners anyway. But like Saturday, took a full shower, like the night. You know, like I took a real like deal, everything shower.
Yeah.
Then we went out to eat. So I blew out my hair with like the blow dryer brush, as I do, because I don't know how to blow dry my hair normally, but we're not going to talk about that. And then because I blew it out, it just gets so greasy so fast that I had to freaking wash it again. And before the baby, I like really trained my hair to only be washed once a week, 2 times at most. And since the baby, with like my hormones and everything, even though it's been over a year, the hair is just not what it was,
Same.
and it's frustrating. And so I tell Alec, like, okay, I'm gonna go take a shower, whatever. I was like, but I'm gonna probably work out in the morning, so like I'm gonna have to take a body shower in the morning too. And he's like, what? Like, you're in the shower now to shower in the morning? I was like, well, I'm gonna work out. I can't go to work smelly. And I can't wash my hair in the morning because I can't go to work with a wet head. And like, men just don't get it. And it's annoying. They don't get it. They don't know the struggle. They don't understand. Like, they should have to understand these things.
No,
I
they
don't
don't.
know. But they should. Like, there should be some sort of thing where they're required to understand what it's like to be a woman. Because it's
That's
annoying.
true. That's something that in like, instead of sex ed, it should be like, maybe this is a little too forward, like gender ed. Like, you need to learn how the other half of the population lives. I'm not talking about like, you don't need to know the ins and outs of, the lady
No, they need
things.
to understand. I feel like men would have more respect. Like, they would really, and this is like harping on the whole Barbie movie of like whatever. I feel like it could coincide with that and like understand like this is what women go through every single day of their lives.
Yeah.
And you will never get it. And you should be thankful that you'll never understand it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, my husband watched the Barbie movie. He started it while I had COVID and then he stopped it. And then I was like, no. That's where you stopped it at. You have to keep watching. It gets better. So then I made him watch it and I was literally crying within 37 seconds of it starting again. So I just really have an emotional attachment to this movie.
Clearly.
It really gets me in my feels. I didn't have a full existential crisis this time, but
that's good.
I still cry.
You would hope that the more times you see it, the less existential crisis you would have.
I mean, you would hope, but this is what we're talking about.
It's so true though. I was just thinking, like, I definitely know that my hair is a little greasy because you have to plan out washing your hair. Like, it's got to be in an itinerary. Like, you have to look at your week and go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to the gym that morning, but then I have this going on during the day, but then I have this the next day. So is it really worth washing my hair? And then you got to like think about, but I have this coming up. I have these plans coming up. And then it's a whole thing.
It literally is a whole thing. For what reason?
Right. And I've gotten a little lax about it since I 100% work from home now. So, I'll let my hair go a little greasier
well, that
than
was
I
when
would
I
have
like
pre-COVID.
trained my hair.
Yeah.
Like during COVID, I trained my hair to like not be washed because I was somebody that like washed my hair every other day. And my hair really depended on being washed every other day. And now, but like if I do it, then I need to wash it.
Yeah.
So I really don't do it that often though, because I do feel like it's healthier and it grows better by not like putting heat to it, but whatever. Anyway, that's my ridiculous thing is like showering as a woman, I guess.
And men not understanding the planning.
And men not getting it.
Yeah.
Like they just like go in the shower, do their thing and get out like all the time.
Yeah. I will say like that's since I've been starting to go to the gym more consistently this month, like that's the number one complaint I have. So like I have to shower like all the time now. This is just not fair. Like I shouldn't have to do this. Again, maybe that's work from home problems. I know you're supposed to shower every day, but like sometimes I gotta take 2 showers. It's out of control. So good point.
Do you have a ridiculous thing?
Well, I'm gonna piggyback. I mean, this was kind of a mutual ridiculous thing, but it just came up again this week, so we have to bring it up. And it's just why in this day and age, I know we're gonna get real heated on this one. Why do people still gotta be cryptic on social media? What? Why?
So evil.
Why do we have to like tweet, like subtweet or tweet cryptic things or make Facebook posts, mostly Facebook posts, that are just about things that like you want people to ask you about? Like,
but then you don't answer even in the comments.
And then people are like in the comments like, hey, what's up?
if you are putting things on social media and you're going to be cryptic about it, like, don't put it on social media because I want to know what's going on. And
Right.
that's selfish of me, but like, whatever. I don't get it either. I mean, the generation of subtweet is definitely like gone. Like, this was like 20, I don't even know what, 2016. Like, why are we doing this still? Like, grow up. Also,
And thinking back, I was a perpetrator. I was guilty of doing
but
this.
that was like generational times of doing it. Like,
yeah, like thinking back to the high school where
we're out of that time era. We're out of that time zone. We are not in those ages anymore. Like, man up, say what you gotta say and do it. And this is like my big thing of like, even though we're adults, why adults, as in like parents that got Facebook like way after the fact and didn't understand the etiquette of Facebook, shouldn't have Facebook. And I will die on that hill.
Well, just to go back a second, I just have to say that, yes, it should be an age thing that died because, like I said, I'm completely guilty. I still, the Facebook has the memories on this day 14, 15 years ago.
We're literally the subtweeting queen.
And yeah, on Facebook, like it was back when the statuses were still like Tony Ann is ... and you're supposed to like make a full sentence at the end of it. And so it would like, I just see my memories as like, is really pissed off right now, don't talk to me. Or be like, is so sad with a smiley, like a sad face. And thinking back and seeing like the comments that are like, boo, sad face, like my friends that are like obviously knew what was going on at the time. But I look back at my past self and I'm like, Tony Ann, like you were so dramatic. It was probably like you were watching Glee.
It looks like you were like, like mine was always like, is going to bed, softball practice in the AM. Like, who was I? Why did we do this?
I used to give people my full schedule. I used to be like, school, then practice, then work, then gym. I'm like, nobody cared. Nobody cared. Now as an adult, I go days and days without people texting me to even see if I'm alive.
Or when like you had nothing to do and you'd be like, nothing to do. Anybody have plans? Yeah. Like, we were advertising that we were losers.
And that was acceptable on like your AOL away message, but not on Facebook. Like that should not have been a Facebook thing.
No, well, this was when Facebook first started. So that's why it was acceptable there, because this was when AIM was going out and Facebook was coming in.
Right.
So it like just took over for the other.
That's when that happened. That was when it was actually statuses. Like, what are you doing? Like that is literally the definition of a status. Right. Nowadays, Facebook is posts and like sharing. It's mostly for sharing pictures, but then like you said, older people are on it that maybe shouldn't be on it, or they just don't know the way that social media was intended. And so now you have people just like posting these things that quite literally sounded like somebody died. Let's just say. And
always.
For all you know, they just like tripped going up the stairs today. This has been very hard.
Or like the chain messages like that they don't understand. Like, Facebook is not changing the rules and regulations. Stop posting this. Stop.
I know. So that's my rant.
Another
is that
thing that I
we need to. At what point do we need to stand up to the boomers? And listen, I know we have a couple of boomers that watch this podcast. I'm not calling you people out, okay? I'm talking about these other people that we happen to follow that just like somebody needs to hold them accountable.
Stop being cryptic, people. We want to know what's going on in your life.
We also can't unfriend
We also don't want too much information. Like, we want just enough information to know what's going on, but we don't want too much information. Don't need your whole life story.
No, I definitely don't want a novel. I don't want, to hear what happened to you today. That was so devastating. That probably wasn't devastating. But also then just maybe don't post about it. Like maybe just like text your friends and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you wouldn't imagine what happened to me today. Like normal person. Don't put it on Facebook. That's not the place.
I think you need to delete your Facebook.
Do we need to delete? I can't. I still play Candy Crush. I still need a Facebook account.
Oh my God.
So that is my rant. It was a group rant. It was definitely a mutual one we've been holding on to for quite some time.
Yeah, that is a mutual one.
I'm
don't know how
sweating
to
right
do
now
it.
from talking about this so passionately.
Can you tell me why you added Stregonona to the note? Because I forgot about Stregonona until I saw a meme about it the other day, and I was cracking up, and I don't
Thank
even remember
you.
what it was. I
It was
peed
the
my
one,
pants.
I know exactly which one it was because that's exactly what, it's probably the same one that encouraged me to put it on this list. It was like on one of those like I'm 30 old accounts, like one of those meme accounts. And it was just
Okay.
something, I don't remember what the meme was, but it was Stregonona. And my brain just went, like you said, like you forgot it existed. Like, boom, like in
I
my brain,
totally
I was like,
forgot it existed.
oh my God, Stregonona.
The meme was hilarious.
Yeah, I might have to
Now I'm mad
find
that
it.
you don't remember it.
We'll have to I'll find it and we'll put it on the story.
I'm gonna put it on our story because we need to know if people relate to it.
Yeah, and I
But
just know like
what are other
there's
dream children's book series? What does that mean?
like there's so many children's book series that you've read so much of that like do people even know about them anymore? Did they even exist? Like the main ones that everybody knows. Like everybody knows the Bernstein Bears. Everybody, knows
Yes, I
Nancy
think they still
Drew
exist.
and all those things.
Junie B.
But
Jones.
what?
Junie B. Jones.
Oh, sure. Yes. The
Well, that was
Babysitter's
like more
Club.
chapter books. Like that wasn't like,
Yeah.
So
what I'm talking about is the books like Stregonona. Like, is that just like a Italian American child thing? Like, do only American children grow up reading Stregonona, or is that everybody?
That's a great question. I don't know. Like, are books like regional? Like we've learned other things are regional in this country.
Right. Another book that I think about constantly.
That's a good question.
Another book I think about constantly is I don't remember the name of it. I should have done research before I was gonna do the segment, but it was like a book about like a toad that was like an old man. And
Oh, wait, I definitely remember this.
you remember this? You remember
Yeah,
this?
I feel like I read it in like kindergarten. Oh my God, I feel like I remember this.
I'm mid story having to
Is
Google
this gonna
this.
be like like a Mandela effect type of thing where like you tell me it and I think it happened, but it didn't happen?
Okay, it's The Frog and the Toad.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I
they were
think
like
they
best
read that
friends.
I think I read that in like
And they wore
kindergarten.
like old man Italian hats. And they like were always like walking through town and like funny things happened to them. And they had like a banter. I was obsessed with those books. I don't know why. But do people remember Frog and the Toad like I do? I had to apologize to the masses. This is going to be a very rough episode to watch if you watch it at all. Because Jess is frozen again, and she has been almost the whole episode. Back in, so you know where to cut. Okay, but yes, Frog and the Toad. While you had your little technical difficulty, I further Googled it, and it really just hit home for me. And they were like the precursor to like Bert and Ernie. Like they were best friends, and I think they were a little in love with each other.
But were they did they come first or Bert and Ernie came first?
That's a good question. I did see the books were like in the 70s. Do you think that Bert and Ernie was before that?
Sesame Street has been around for a long time. Let me do a quick Google.
All I know is that the when I Googled them, the book cover that came up that was the one that was like ingrained in my memory was them riding a tandem bicycle. And I immediately was like, oh my God.
Yes. Yeah, the when you said it, that like kind of came into my head.
So like things like that, Stregonona.
Okay, Sesame Street started November 10th, 1969.
Okay, but you don't know Bert and Ernie was OG characters. And they definitely weren't like living together and all that early, probably not.
For Bert and Ernie.
They were roommates.
OG Sesame Street.
It's not really that relevant besides the fact that they were similar characters, but I was like 5, 6.
They did. They've been on. Wait, this says that they screen tested them in July of 1969.
Oh, okay. So they've been on the show pretty much since the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good for them. So yeah, maybe they weren't the precursor to Bert and Ernie, but they were similar where they were like friends and they did everything together and you just never questioned it because you were a kid and you just loved their stories.
Right.
But they were riding tandem bicycles. They were constantly like sitting like next to a lake with each other. Like
I forgot all about this book. That's so funny though, because like at the baby has a lot of like classic books. Like we have Chicka Chicka Boom Boom and If You Give a Mouse a Cookie and like all of those classics, like Good
Hungry
Night
Hungry
Moon.
Caterpillar.
Yes, like all of those we have.
The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. I know
I
what
was
you meant.
combining Hungry Hippo.
Hungry Hippos, Very
Yeah.
Hungry Caterpillar. But I put like those two books she doesn't have.
No.
And we don't need any more books because we literally have 3 shelves full of books. There's a bin in her room full of books and a crate full of books.
And she still can't even read.
So many books. And then like people just keep buying you books, which listen, I'm so appreciative for like everything that everyone buys us. Like I have not had to buy this child clothes in over a year. Like I think I've bought her maybe like 4 outfits.
Hashtag blessed.
Which is wonderful, but it's also so overwhelming. Like this weekend, we went through her room again and like started clearing out more clothes. And I have, I think, 5 or 6 like vacuum sealed, like 5-gallon bags of clothing. And I'm just like,
that she's outgrown or like that she hasn't worn yet? No,
that she's outgrown.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh my God, when I have another child, I am going to have I'm going to need like a legitimate team to assemble and like go through all of this stuff again because things are like so mosh posh sizes and seasons and this and that. And I'm going to have to go through all of it. And I'm just so nervous, honestly.
Well, when it comes to the books, you have a lot also because your baby shower, we were asked to come with a book.
Yeah, I know. And
so
I got
a very unique one. Just saying.
I'm honestly not a huge fan of that for that reason. And I didn't tell my mom and my sister. Again, appreciative of it. Yeah. But now like people buy her books for other things and I'm like, I already have this book. So all the duplicate books go to my mom's house.
On brand, I got the child her first ABC's book that was Mets themed, of course.
Yeah, that was a good one. We only have one of those.
We're very on brand here, if not anything, you know? So
again, it is what it is. But like it's a lot of books and it's overwhelming. It's just very overwhelming to get like an influx of all these things and then you feel like, oh my God, I forgot about that book or I forgot about this book and that, and it's just a lot.
Staying on the book trend, can we also think maybe it's just that maybe we're at the age right now where like I obviously don't have a kid, you have a young toddler. It's like we don't know really what goes on in like the young kids age anymore. Like, are there books series that like kids love now? Because we had like Captain Underpants.
So I think my cousin
all those things.
Read Captain Underpants, but I don't know if he liked it. I think that they still have Captain Underpants, but I wonder the same thing, like Junie B. Jones and like all of those books. Like, are kids still reading them? Is this like what do kids do?
Like, is it timeless? Like, are girls still reading the Babysitter's Club?
Probably not, because these girls are 10 years old and at Sephora spending $900 on retinol and skincare routines.
Yeah, like now the 10-year-olds are reading the books that I just read that I thought were very adult. They're probably like, this is light stuff. They have the internet at their disposal.
I know, but like it just like scares me, honestly. And I think it's more scary again having a girl because at 10 years old I did not have I'm 30 years old and I still don't have a good skincare routine. But these kids are in Sephora buying retinol and all of these things for their skin. Like, you're 10, you know?
They're gonna stay young forever though.
I know, but like at 13, like my skincare routine was like proactive. Like not freaking Cindy Crawford's $300 skincare routine. Like, I just don't get it, and it makes me sad. And this is like a lot of things with like the internet and like even going into like AI type of stuff. Like these kids just have way too much access. And it really petrifies me because there is no reason for you at 10 years old to feel like you need to have this type of skincare routine Like, for what? For what? What are you doing that for? It's literally only for the social media aspect of things, and it just makes me sad because they're all going to be so screwed up from it.
And that's the tightrope you're going to have to walk, is that, like, you want to be the one that, like, kind of goes like, no, you don't need this, but then you're also the mean mom who doesn't give her those things.
Right. And
and then she has FOMO.
At this point, I say I don't care, obviously. And I hope that, like, people our age, like, feel the same way and don't give in to their kids. Like, it's a matter of giving in to your kids. If you give in to your kids, like, it's gonna happen. And, like, I'm not giving anybody parenting advice. Obviously, my kid's only one, so, like, I don't have parenting advice to give. But it is really, like, we just know what it's like, and I think it was hard for us, in a sense, when, like, all of these things started. And, like, sometimes I look at pictures and I'm like, what was I taking these like, what, my cousin found, like, a picture on her computer from, like, one day when me and my other cousin, had her sister, had, like, a photo shoot for profile pics for MySpace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what was I doing in this picture? I'm only posing this way because other people are doing that. Like, why was I doing that? You know,
when I
like,
was 10, I was taking pictures with me in my basketball jersey with my bird on my shoulder. So, like, I don't really think that.
Right, but you know what I mean? Like, you still have, like, even though you, like, for the most part, like, maybe but there was still something in the back of our heads, like, oh my God, let's take this picture. It's going to be cool. Like, people are going to like it, you know? And even with this, like, AI stuff, like, I really hope, for the sake of the country and the security, that, like, people fucking wake up, because those pictures, I didn't see any of the pictures of Taylor Swift, but, like, that's petrifying. It's scary, because 2 days before all of that came out, I saw that there was a teenage girl that, like, somebody did that, like, put a picture of her with AI, and basically, like, I thought of a Walk to Remember, where they photoshopped her head, like, on the body.
That was way before its time.
Way before its time, but that was the up and coming of the internet and, like, all of those things. So, like, obviously people had morals and, like, stopped doing those things, but, like, now people have no chill.
No.
And, like, this kid killed herself because there was, like, nudes, they weren't her, but they were going around the school, and, like, that's petrifying.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Not to get, like, crazy. Dark, but, like, it's just crazy.
A little dark. That's okay.
I know, but, like,
we talk about everything on this pod.
All of these things are just, it's really insane how these things aren't, like, they don't think before they put them into action, of, like, how are we going to regulate this? Even the commercials of, like, Instagram being like, parental controls at 16. You know how we got around the parental controls when we were young? We had our parents make us mature teen AOL accounts so that you can get AIM, like, with no restrictions. Like, you're just lying to the computer. That's basically what it is. Like, it's, unless the parents lay down the law and understand, like, you shouldn't be doing this. Also, when we were young, like, I feel like all of our computers were in our living room, so our parents knew what we were doing all the time.
Oh, well, our first one was in the basement.
Or, like, you had a computer room, but, like, your parents knew where you were and when you were on the computer.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Good old dial-up.
In the basement, and then when we became teenagers and we moved to the new house, we were privileged enough, me and my sister, to have a computer in the room. But that was, like, the kids' computer, and then, like, the parents' computer was downstairs. But, like, all we did was play Sims and Roller Coaster Tycoon and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Like, we didn't, like, do anything crazy. Play our Neopets. You know what I mean? Like, it was nothing like this. So
no, it wasn't like this.
Yeah. I get it.
It's crazy.
Wow, that came all from Stregonona. And the Frog and the Toad. See how we just go? We just go. In other news about the internet, do you remember, I guess it was last year already, remember when, like, they admitted, like, the government admitted there was aliens and nobody said anything about it and we just glossed over it? No. You do remember this, right? You see, this is what I mean? You don't remember this? Like, last year or the year before, like, the FBI released a bunch of documents saying yeah, we found some like otherworldly, like unidentifiable objects, and like this is the like here's the news about it. And because there
You
was
know
so
that I
much
don't pay
going
attention
on.
to these things because I won't sleep. So if I don't sleep
Okay,
tonight, I'm calling you at 3
but
a.m.
the big joke that wasn't really a joke on the internet was that there was so much going on in the world with like COVID and like, you know, all the civil
Oh
unrest and
wait, now I
everything that
feel like
like
I kind of like everybody
everybody
was
was,
so distracted that they
yeah,
forgot about it or
everybody was
didn't pay
like, not
attention.
now, FBI, not alien news now. We're too worried about like real problems. Like nobody cared.
I
So
do
to go
remember
back to
this
this,
now.
news dropped today that I am flabbergasted by that I don't think enough people are talking about. So it's been announced that they might have found Amelia Earhart's airplane in the ocean.
Okay, but my question is like, how long are we gonna look for Amelia Earhart's plane in the ocean?
Here's the thing. You're always up about your anxieties and how things keep you up at night. She is the Bermuda Triangle. Like the Bermuda Triangle is not a thing unless Amelia Earhart existed. So we're saying now.
Do you remember when we lived together and the special about Amelia Earhart came out and we were like, oh my God. And we all sat there and watched and we got 0 answers?
Well,
I think that's why I'm not invested anymore in Amelia Earhart.
So, no, I have to bring up the article because I was flabbergasted. So they said that it was somewhere like off of South Carolina, which makes sense because that's like you go that way. That's like the Bermuda Triangle. They might have like found the ship, the aircraft. And
So what you're telling me is she didn't even get lost in Bermuda. She got lost in South Carolina?
no, she off the coast of South Carolina, which is like towards Bermuda. You realize that's where Bermuda is.
Yeah, but not that close.
Okay, but
it's not like Cuba and Florida where you can see Cuba like from Florida.
She disappeared in 1937. The aircraft is bound to have eventually gotten to shore by that time, don't you think?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
So anyway, I didn't read the full article because I hate reading while also talking on the podcast. But
all right, you can post it to the stories. Post it to the stories.
I don't think enough people are talking about this.
Yeah, I had no idea until you said it right before we started. When I was like, "Why did you add this to the note?" But really, in all actuality, 1937, she went missing, and it's how many years later? Over 100 years later. Why are we still looking for her?
It's not that they were looking for her; they were just on a random like reconnaissance thing.
But how do they know it's hers?
Because the plane is like the identical like model of the plane that went missing that she was on. It was a Lockheed T-10E Electra. Team Deep Sea Vision. This. I'm just like, it's crazy. I'm just, again, like, I'm gonna stop reading now because I can't fully focus on it right now. But it's just, Amelia Earhart is the reason why every child was like, oh my God, if I go near the Bermuda Triangle.
If you go to Bermuda, you're not coming home.
And I saw a TikTok about this weeks ago before this news dropped, obviously, and somebody was like, I feel like they made us a lot more worried about the Bermuda Triangle than we needed to be. Like, people go to Bermuda all the time and they're absolutely fine.
100%. Like, I remember. Okay, I literally remember like growing up, we had a neighbor and we were in our yard and she was like, I'm going to Bermuda, I might not come home. And we were like, what? She was like, yeah, the Bermuda Triangle. And I'm pretty sure I ran home and told my mom. I was like, oh my God, they're going to Bermuda. Did you know they could go missing?
Knowing Jess, she was like, oh my God, this girl's never coming back.
Spoiler alert, she came back.
She did come back, thank God. But again, okay, so not to make a joke out of this, because obviously I feel bad. Amelia Earhart and the guy that was like her navigator, like they lost their lives. It's very sad. But like at the same time,
but they're the only people that ever got lost in the Bermuda Triangle.
I'm sure there were many more. I'm sure that one time somebody went missing is not how a whole myth was born. There definitely was a pattern, okay, of people going missing. That was probably also the time that there were like wooden ships and like they could go down with like a 10-foot wave and just be dead.
So she was just the first one to go missing and that's why she's responsible for it?
I don't think she's the first one. I think maybe she's not the reason it's famous. Maybe that's my like.
No, I feel like that's what I understood too. Also, it's a problem because like I feel like it's so predominant in our lives because, like, I don't know, when we were younger, I feel like every book report, like famous person
Yes.
luncheon, somebody always picked Amelia Earhart. I
Oh,
feel like
Women's History Month, I always picked Amelia
I
Earhart.
feel like they were always pushing Amelia Earhart on us. Like, somebody has to pick Amelia. Somebody has to. Like,
the Earhart agenda was
literally, like the
strong.
3rd and 4th grade teachers of America were like, Amelia Earhart, don't forget about her.
You can pick Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. That's it. That's your 3 options for Women's History Month.
I did a book report on Mia Hamm one year.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I always went for the sports girlies.
I probably did a gymnast at one point because I wanted to be a gymnast. Like Dominique Musciano, my girl. But yeah, so just they're obviously, their bodies are decomposed at this point. They're never gonna like find their bodies, but like the fact that they now
Well,
maybe
yeah, if
have
they show up after all this time, then this is just a conspiracy theory waiting to happen.
Yo, I need to read more into this. I'm like really about this. It got me
Go
amped.
down the hole. Go down the rabbit hole and report back next week.
I also saw a funny TikTok. This is just TikTok reporting news at this point. That going back to how technology is such a prevalent thing with like Gen Z nowadays and stuff. It was like, can you imagine if the Titanic sunk today? And like it was a picture of everyone in the water like holding their phones up. And
wait, I saw that too.
And everybody was like, not me freezing in the ocean. Or like that iceberg thought he was it. Like all these comments.
I mean, we just have way too much information.
Like, but that's what I'm thinking. So
why is no one afraid of it? Like,
but I mean, that's why we're all going to hell, because think about what happened last year with the
submersible.
The submersible, we just immediately started making fun of it, and it was a tragic thing.
I did not immediately start making fun of it.
I did. I'm going to hell.
I know. The best part about this, not the best part, the funniest part about it is that like that weekend was when we went to Melissa's bachelorette party and we walked into the karaoke part and the lady was singing My Heart Will Go On, and we were like,
that was
too
great.
soon.
And she literally was like, too soon? And I was like, no. She brought down the house, that girl. She was a good singer.
Listen, I had a great time at that bar.
Yeah. That was great. It was like a dive bar in the middle of Annapolis.
Right. And everybody there was like, why are you here?
Yeah, like, why are you visiting us? And we're just like, we just wanted to find some karaoke, and we had a great time.
We had the best time.
Honestly, that whole weekend was fantastic. It was such a random bachelorette.
I was thinking about the boat the other day because I was watching Blow Tech Med.
You mean when I fell through it and I almost died?
Again, I don't bring up these stories about you. You bring them up yourself. So now for the people, we will tell this story. So we go away. This is literally what it's like being friends with us. You cannot take us anywhere. So me, anxious little me, doesn't do anything risky, fun. Like, I'm like very precautious, whatever. So we get on this boat, and I'm not like a huge fan of boats, but it was my best friend's bachelorette party, so I'm like, I'm gonna do it, whatever. Well, get a few Jello shots in me, and I'm invincible. First one on the roof of the sun deck. I'm like standing up while the boat is going.
We did a little bit of Jack and Rose action at the front. We did.
Yeah. Then we had the like day like the tanning things, like the nets that you can lay on.
Like the catamaran nets.
Me of all people says, I'm gonna go lay on this net. Again, this is like so unlike me. So we park the boat and we're gonna go swimming now. And we're all Tony Ann in her typical daughter of a photographer fashion, lines everybody up nicely. She has everyone in frame. She hands the captain the camera. Just gets a little too excited and goes. She goes to get the picture. She goes to get in the picture, a nice, lovely spot she set for herself, and she steps right in the middle of the net. And her foot goes right through it.
I almost died. Thank God. Thank God the boat wasn't moving.
I have never laughed so hard in my entire life. And now the captain does not think this is funny because obviously this is a huge liability. I'm like, I was just laying on this net. I would have died if I broke it, like, while it
I
was
felt
moving.
so bad, and like
Tony
I was
and
like,
Tony
we're
Ann
gonna
thinks
lose
it's
a
her fault,
security deposit.
right?
Oh my god! And the captain's
Tony
like,
Ann,
no, you're not. Like I'm at fault for this. Like this should not
right.
have happened.
Tony Ann is like, oh my god, like freaking out. Like she thinks that like she broke it. The guy's like, no, you're supposed to be able to jump on that
Okay.
thing like a trampoline.
And also to
Like,
put yourself in the moment, all of our college friends will know this. So back in college, I played outfield, and there was a day that my depth perception was not that
verse
great.
Stevens, a day verse Stevens. Freaking
And
Stevens.
I went, a nice easy pop-up came to me in right field, and I was like, I got it with my glove. I did not have it. My glove is right here, and the ball just went boom right on my head. Okay.
It literally, for the whole day, she was like, this is the fly ball part 2. This is fly ball part 2.
I
can't believe that just
the
happened.
whole rest of the day in the outfield. Everyone in the outfield like stands, and my like teammates around me all heard me going like, I'm so fucking dumb. This was so embarrassing. Like I'm like mumbling to myself, like you're such an idiot. Like I'm like getting so mad at myself and how embarrassing that moment was. So when I fell through a net at Melissa's bachelorette party, it just all came flooding back. I was like, this always happens to me. I think I said 10 times on the boat, like, I'm the definition of that law where like anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Murphy's
I like just
Law.
I was really having a pity party. And again, the captain was like, no, like as Jess was about to say, like the captain was like, no, you should be able to put like 1,000 pounds on this. Like you should be able to jump on it like a trampoline. It should not break. Like I've been telling the people for the company to replace this for a really long time. Like the sun was really starting to like deteriorate it. I'm so sorry. He actually, when we stopped at our little like dockside bar, he like got us like 3 gallons of orange crushes because he felt so bad. He gave us an extra half hour. Like thinking we were going to sue him. Meanwhile, I was just scared I was going to have to pay like a security deposit. Like, and I had rope burns all up my ankle and my leg from it. And everybody was like, are you sure you're okay? I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's fine. Like, totally.
She immediately jumped in the water. Immediately, because she was like, I need to get away from the people on this boat. And then I got in the water.
You did.
And Tony Ann said that if she had $1 million, that I would be the second one in the water she would have bet against.
No, I would never have guessed that Jess, because it also was, it was like kind of really still cold. Like it was like
it was
freezing
only June.
Yeah.
No, the water was actually warmer than I thought it was going to be.
Well, because it was like kind of a rainy day on and off. So the water wasn't like, it was a little rougher than usual, and it wasn't like peak summer temperature yet.
Right. Like it was like warm but cold at the same. Like it was cold and then like warmth would come. But like it was very interesting. It was just like weird. We had the best time.
We did have a great time. So
I would go on that boat again in a minute.
Yeah, that was Melissa's bachelorette. And honestly, I tell everybody about Annapolis. Everybody there was like, why are you guys here? Like, this is such a random place for a bachelorette.
I thought the food was great. I thought that I really enjoyed it.
And now that ever since our Baltimore trip, I've been eating crab cakes. I wish I could go back and have a crab cake there. Like now I'm sad.
Did you try my crab cake there, or no? I made you try crab dip.
Yeah, the crab dip was good because it was so cheesy. I mean, I could eat that. That's fine. But yeah, I wish I could go back and have like a good crab cake there now. So I would definitely go back there. It was such a cute little town. It was so cute. So
all right, maybe we'll plan a girls trip just so we could go for crabs.
Why not? I have this weekend coming up is Laura's bachelorette. We are
we're going to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, so you'll have stories. Wait, will you be back next Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. We're just going Thursday to Sunday.
Okay.
Trust me, I will be back ready to text you nonstop on the Grammys on Sunday. Don't you worry.
Oh, I forgot they were Sunday. Oh my God, I'm really behind.
Listen.
Wow. Alrighty.
Gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a Tay Fest, and people just got for the next 2 weeks Sundays.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Sorry, we're not gonna talk about we won't talk about the game. It's everywhere. It's ad nauseum. I don't even want to talk about it.
But the AI, our personal social.
The AI thing really did need to be said because that is like a issue of America.
Yeah,
and I really hope that she could get it fixed.
I don't think anybody in America did that, by the way. I think that
but I also heard that it happened to Sochi Gomez, who was My ring light just decided to not be on anymore.
I almost just spit my wine.
I also heard that happened to Xochitl Gomez too, who won Dancing with the Stars. And she's underage, so that's a whole new can of worms.
Oh yeah.
Wait, she's minor.
Put your light back on.
Like,
I'm happy to say that my side never has technical difficulties. I know I just jinxed it. But these things don't happen to me.
I'm not tech savvy, you know this.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, let there be light.
I have to stop. I'm done drinking. I'm done. I hope everyone can see Grogu today. I moved him over a little bit last week. Somebody told me they still couldn't see him, so I just moved him over again.
Okay, you could definitely see him last week, so whoever told you that needs to get their eyes checked.
It was my mother.
Sorry, Deb, get your eyes checked.
Because now you can see Grogu, my family pick, my David Wright
Why
Funko.
are we talking about yourselves again?
I like to do show and tell. Maybe some people are interested.
We see Tom Seaver. Anyway.
Okay, on that note.
Who?
So yes, I will be in
All right.
New Orleans. I'm sure I'll have lots of ridiculous things to talk about on our next episode because although what happens in New Orleans stays in New Orleans.
Our next episode, we might have something, if all goes according to plan, we will have a fun episode planned.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to spoil it just in case it doesn't happen. That would look bad.
I'm on the same page as you. I'm like, we might just have a very special episode next week, TBD.
But it's in the hands of other people. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway. All right. I think that's all we have for today. Please share with your friends. Like, just tell them it's a feel good. Like, we're going to make you forget about the bad things in the world other than my little rant before. But other than that, normally this is a very happy-go-lucky podcast. And share with your friends. Like us. Answer our things on Instagram. Start, what's that called? Interacting? Yeah, sorry. I put a lot of alcohol in this.
I'm just like I think I'm having a hot flash this whole episode. I don't know if the wine has to do with it or I just got really
I think I'm stressing you out. I like
the Stregonona and the Amelia Earhart of it all really got to me. But yes, please do interact because we've been a little stagnant with our viewers week after week. We are trying like different things on Insta and stuff to like get some traction, but tell us what you want to hear, what you hate
share
about
our reels.
Yeah, I think that all in all, it's just a really fun hobby for us, but we have even more fun with it when people talk to us about it.
It's true. We know that we told you in the past not to talk to us about it. Now
that was episode 1. I've learned my
We're
wrong.
really embracing it.
Yeah, we want you to reach out, comment, don't just DM, comment publicly.
Right.
Thank you.
Share us with your friends. Put us on your stories. Do whatever you got to do to get us some more viewers.
Okay? We love you.
We do. Thanks for being our friend.
Yes. Have a good night.
Hi, friends. Wow, you listened to the whole thing. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform and share it with your friends. Ratings, reviews, and comments help as well. See you next week. Thanks for being our friend.